Mr. Wild, here we are, lockdown, and we're going to watch this very important match that we both had in 2016. At least I know it was
Absolutely.
important for me. Hopefully, it was important for you. And I'm excited. I haven't watched it
Definitely.
back um, since like a week or two after it was aired. So like
I'm the same.
at
I'm the
least
same.
four
I'm quite
years. So
nervous.
let's see if it holds up the test of time. So as long as
Yeah,
we don't scrutinize each other too much, if you say nice things about me, I'll say nice things about you.
exactly. Good-
That,
Exactly. Give me feedback after the camera stopped rolling.
yeah. Just text me. So yeah, so I don't remember exactly how I felt that day because obviously it was such a crazy couple of months.
Yeah,
Obviously, you know me very well. You know that I like going weekend to weekend, day by day.
yeah,
So that period in my life where there was so much change happening, professionally and personally, it was
absolutely.
kind of it was just almost, to me it felt like water off a duck's back, and that I was staying above the
The
natural
emotion.
emotional response.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I thought I dodged the bullet, and that emotional bullet well and truly hits me in the face at the start of this match, which is what the number one thing that I can remember. And
Absolutely.
it was
I
like
just,
being at
go ahead.
it was like being in school and being in like the head teacher's office or something, and you're just uncontrollably crying.
Exactly. Yeah. Wait, for me, it was the atmosphere. Like, there'd been a long time there where I hadn't been in big matches. And even though I'd been trying to kind of paddle and keep my head above water in ICW, I didn't really feel like I was delivering, but there was so much hype here for me, just as much, well, obviously for you for leaving, but they were happy to see the match. And I just remember like standing thinking, God, people really want to see this. And it gave me like an instant boost of confidence, which I needed. I was standing there thinking, what the hell am I doing here?
Well, looking back on it now, it does seem quite silly that we both felt so much pressure, because in a circumstance like this, the only match that made sense was you and I.
Yeah,
Obviously, given the history in ICW, and then way before that, like I can't even count the amount of times that we've wrestled each other, and that's before you even like start to factor in the amount of matches we had at the training school
oh
every
man,
week, because obviously we would want to just pair off together and get better together. And
absolutely.
there's so many poetic matches that we've had. I feel like anyway, for personal reasons, not poetic in the sense of oh my god, it's the most epic thing ever. Just for you and
No,
I, as
absolutely.
human
Yeah,
beings and
you
best
mate,
friends, to go
absolutely.
through this.
I know. I know. I mean, like just for like clarity for people that are watching, we're watching this without sound, but we don't need it. You know, I can. I'm kind of feeling the emotion there just now. Like I said, I felt like when I was standing there, I felt like I really needed to deliver. We'd like whenever we'd had matches, like Noam saying, we'd wrestled each other countless times, but I was so nervous on this one because I really felt like I possibly couldn't deliver. I knew that obviously I could wrestle now with my eyes shut, but there was a little bit of doubt in the back of my mind that this was just going to all fall to pieces as soon as the bell rang.
Well, I mean, self doubt is a natural feeling that competitors have, and then obviously with the pressure and the expectation on this, and for me, that feels like it really just comes from the personal commitment that we have here to make sure that we do each other proud, and that's what always makes
Absolutely.
it difficult to like, you know, a lot of people talk about how amazing it is being able to wrestle your close friends and also have chemistry with them, but sometimes that adds to it. It certainly adds to it and makes it more like, the stakes are higher,
Absolutely.
especially in a match like this. But this was, to me, even still looking back, this is the only match that would have made sense, and I'm so glad that happened, and I can't wait to watch me absolutely leather you for the next 20 minutes.
Wow, man.
Look at
Look
that
at that
nice
chin.
baby
Look at
face
those
there. Look at
chins,
that.
man. Jesus.
No,
Ugh.
no 5 o'clock shadow there.
No. There's a bit of
Shave, clean shaven.
donut sugar on there.
Oh. Here we go. Look. I'm trying to play so cool. Look
Here,
how
I'll
calm
keep
and
quiet for a
collected it's
minute so you
gonna.
can watch your bit.
Completely thought I had like hacked the system. I was like, yeah, I am impervious to emotion. I will
Exactly.
leave this country happily and all my friends. No problem at all. Can't believe
This is
everybody's
easy.
getting so emotional. And you see it right here.
Because the place erupted. I remember the place and they did not subside for a good. I mean, like I just said, we're watching this without sound, obviously for recording purposes, but I just remember that noise just going and going and going and going. It was mad. But I think obviously you were one of the people at the beginning. I mean, we and myself, obviously, and we tried where other people were doing. There was a lot of things that built ICW in terms of like stories and characters and things like that. From day one, we were like, we want to give them the matches. You know, we want to give them the best match we possibly can every single time, whether we were in there with each other or other people. And I feel personally that the early years of ICW were built on that. You know, guys like yourself and Mark and Joe,
Yep.
and then moving on to Kenny and stuff. He came up in the same kind of mindset as we did, even though he came up a few years after. But that was an emotional little bit there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First chance
Yeah.
we hug.
Hold me, baby.
Exactly.
Don't let me go. I never let go. Oh. Well, I mean, I also do remember thinking at this point that, like, you can't start a match crying and then not have a good match. So now I feel like we're on level
job's
pegging
done, isn't it,
of
now?
the nerves of it. Could you imagine epic farewell, tears, and then just a horrendous match?
Yeah, exactly.
Just the worst match anybody's ever seen. That would have been fantastic. I mean, it may be the worst match that somebody's seen, but I'd like to meet that person so I can punch them in the face. And like you were saying, built on like ICW is built on the backs of the guys that you mentioned, but it has to be noted that as young talent, we were given a lot of creative freedom, which
absolutely
doesn't happen too often as a young talent, especially not in a company as big as ICW. That being said, it was perfectly matched with the right direction and the right kind of development from the people working at the top of the card and then obviously behind the scenes. And then that's why I feel like we've been able to individually grow so much in ICW and develop in front of the audience. And I think that's what makes these matches special, is that the people that are watching right now and hopefully the fans that are still with ICW have seen us since we started, you know what I mean? Since we were like, for me, 15, 16, and for you, what's 17, 18? Like,
18, 19,
they've seen us grow up and become these absolutely amazing human beings.
The thing is, a lot of these guys as well, a lot of the people in the crowd were our ages with us as well. So when they started watching it, when we first started there, they were ages, they were 16, 17, 18 or whatever you'd need to be to get in. And then they grew up with us. So it was a real growing up process. We kind of all did it together. They grew up as fans. We grew up as performers.
Yeah, there's definitely the synergy between the competitors and the fans at ICW has always been one of the most important aspects of it.
Yeah. I remember starting to relax around this point and start thinking like, right, I don't need to think here.
Yes.
Which was nice.
Well, it became this once we started getting into the comfort zone. A nice counter there, big man. Very nice. Very nice.
Steal that back from myself.
Yeah. Pretending I didn't just get schooled there. But I mean, it's hard, obviously, at the time to really appreciate it and enjoy the moment that you're in, and especially if you're caught up in your own going on and your own bullshit at the time. Obviously, like I said, there was so much changing for me that it's easy to go on autopilot. But I specifically remember just how much I was enjoying all of this match, and it felt cathartic in a way of like it was necessary to have these type of matches before like moving on to the next stage in my career. And then also I remember as well, just like you were mentioning earlier, about how this was a difficult time in your life for a number of reasons.
Absolutely.
And that just makes it so much more important for the both of us, really, that we were able to do that together and continue to develop.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I got the phone call, we've got a little bit going on here. Oh, a little bit of that. Hey, we stand off. No, I remember when I got the phone call from Dallas to say, like, look, Noam wants to work you in his last match. I was shocked, and when I look back on it, I don't understand why I was so shocked. I think, like I said, I was so down on myself and just kind of ruled myself out the picture. It shocked me at the time, but now when I look back, like you say, everything kind of came full circle for us. It was the perfect nod that I needed. I mean, I genuinely went into this, which I've chatted to you before, I genuinely went into this match thinking if this is the last thing I ever do in wrestling is to give Noam his kind of farewell match, and I've done enough. I'm happy, you know, I've achieved something with my mate. And then everything kind of sparked off the back of this, including my passion for wrestling, after kind of getting in here with you and realizing, Jesus, I'm all right at this, you know.
And that is so much more worthwhile. The outcome of this match, just to hear that, is really what makes it special, makes it real.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, I mean, naturally you were always my second choice. Once I realised that the Great Khali wouldn't come and do the job for me in the garage in Glasgow, then obviously you were the next choice.
Oh, going up top here, not careful.
Here
careful
we go.
Now. Careful. Oh, scared heights. There we go, one of them.
Very nice. And it was also, again, we were talking about this earlier, but the next day I was flying out, and I remember I'd been doing a lot of traveling back and forth that summer, and I remember feeling like almost emptiness the next day on the flight, or not kind of emptiness in a bad way, but more just like not fulfilled, in a sense that it really felt like I was leaving so much behind and so much stuff that has yet to be done, or that I wanted to do in ICW and in Scottish wrestling and so on. That it really didn't feel complete. And obviously I just kind of summarised those feelings as natural and the transitional periods, but obviously that was 100% a real feeling, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so grateful to be back involved in ICW and doing what I'm doing in the UK, in order to hit these targets I set, because we've known each other for 12 years and we've always discussed like ambitions and goals and whatnot, and a lot of times, and you'll know this, for me it is part of the journey. It's doing what you've set out to accomplish from the very first time that we stepped into that training school and there was no heating and all the cliches of a tough wrestling school. So to be able to go back to the point earlier, to be able to actually stop, take that big drop kick right in your nose and sat you down. Get that boy a glass of milk. That's what I said to you.
Get me a fucking ventilation machine at this point. Can't even breathe. But
so just to learn to really savor and enjoy these experiences. And I think this is one that I knew at the time, that I told myself, no matter what your external feelings are just now that's going on, make sure to make the most of this and enjoy it. And I certainly did.
Definitely, I did as well. I enjoyed the fact that I was in there with you, and you know, I'd seen you grow up. You know, obviously, I was just a little bit older than you, just 3 or 4 years, I think we've got between us, maybe a little bit more. And it was such a pleasure watching from meeting you at such a young age and growing and growing and growing, and to see you when you walked out. 'Cause I hadn't really seen you much. I hadn't been at shows very often. We always keep in touch, but I hadn't been at a lot of shows. And to see you walk out and you're in amazing shape and you're tanned and you look like a star, it kind of was just like that.
Tell me more! Please tell me more!
Keep going. No, stop texting me what you want me to say.
It's so hard to be humble, man. I don't know how anyone does it.
No, you know what I mean. It was a nice big brother, father-like figure, kind of full circle.
Absolutely.
Here.
It was, and now looking at it, it's just another stage and this this story that we have with each other and this self-fulfilling journey that we're on, and also to now see how much, like you were mentioning earlier, how much of a launching pad this was for you in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Professionally, it was always there and it was always an option for you, but obviously personally, there was other kind of priorities at the time that you were dealing with. So to now look and see how much you've escalated in ICW and in the British wrestling scene in general is so exciting. And since this match, we've wrestled again in the garage recently. Do you know what I mean? At the end of last year, and that's,
you think
it's so mad, and you know, hopefully it follows that trend.
Yeah, because it seemed like obviously when you left, it was very much like, if I don't get signed now, that we'll maybe never wrestle again. You know, after this match, it was a real like shit. And at that point, though, there was in my head there was no chance I was getting there. I remember falling here and then eating a foot. Yeah, remember that. I've got you, Andy. I'll help you over.
Catch me.
Always looking after me. Always looking after me.
Yeah.
No, I remember just thinking, Christ, like unless I don't get signed, which at that point, like I said, I genuinely thought there's no chance. We're possibly never going to be able to get locked up again. And then there's us. When was it? A couple of months back, putting on another big match for us both. The first match back where I had full confidence in my ability, in myself, and in my character. And you, after farting about in America for a little while, you know.
Yep. And trust me, Andy, I done so much farting. Any given opportunity, I was just farting on everybody. I was on a plane twice a week. Do you know how many times I've farted and the air hostess would walk past? Probably more times than I care to mention on a public forum whilst commentating on a match.
I think you would have one here as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure. I definitely farted on you once or twice here.
Oh man, I don't remember it being this long this match. I remember me being out of breath like mad here. Do you know, this is the point, just as full disclosure for everybody who struggles in the gym, this is the point in the match where my legs started feeling like absolute lead because I had no cardiovascular health at all. And every time I'm struggling when I'm training now, I genuinely, no word of a lie, think of this bit and that feeling of I can't even move my legs, you know? So if I could just do this in training, I'll never be in that position again in the match where I can't think because my legs are so sore. And we haven't even done much, you know?
It is the number one worst feeling to be blown up in a match.
Yes.
It just is so humbling, and like it really kind of there's nothing to compare it to, unfortunately, unless you've done it. But it's also something that you have to experience it to know you never want to feel that again. Like you said, you use that as motivation right now.
Yeah,
we've all been there.
How am I so out of breath? No, I'm fucked.
No, you're hiding it well. And like this is just a personal preference, but I feel the fitter that you get, or the more kind of in-ring condition that you have, then the more difficult it becomes, because you're able to work harder and you're able to exert more energy.
Absolutely.
So really, and that is just, again, a testament. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's it. That should do it. One more.
The thing is, I'm not moving slow either. I give myself a hard
Absolutely
time
not.
sometimes with these kind of things, but you always look back and you watch a match and you think, God, I'm moving really slow here.
Definitely not. And that was my point, was that you're saying that your legs they're feeling like lead, and you were working to your limit at that time.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to you as an individual, that you're, because a lot of people don't. For a lot of people that are watching this, that watch matches and think some wrestlers look a bit too calm, cool, and collected, they are either hiding it so well that they're gassed, or they're just not working hard enough to constitute being gassed, because they know that if they blow up, it's
This is it,
that definitely.
It's got to be it. Nobody kicks out of that.
Yeah, no. And this was, I also remember how much this was the right decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I agree.
And even obviously we can't.
Go ahead.
We can't hear the audience here, but at the time we 100% knew that was the right choice to make, and then obviously it's paid off so well.
Yeah, like we say, because they'd all grown up with us, like we just said, I genuinely feel that like they knew what was being done here when I won. You know, they knew the nod that was going for me here, and how much it would help me as well.
Well, yeah, that was
that was good.
Insane
that
to
was
watch
a good match.
Yeah. Oh, mate, don't sound so doubtful. You and I are amazing.
All your matches are good. The opponents are slotted in.
Yeah. Every single one of my matches is the best match ever. You just need to ask me.
Exactly. You just need to ask the right person.
No, in all seriousness, it's great to watch that, and just looking at it in hindsight and just seeing the emotion that's in that match, and then still having to. It felt very strange having like that level of emotion and investment in the match, like between us, and then also having to like perform to like a top level professionally, right? So it was a very weird feeling that I've never had a match ever where I'd been that emotionally charged whilst in the match, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember it was a couple of my schoolmates came with me to that show because they knew, Lee Gillis and another one of my mates, and they drove me to the show because I said to my mate, like, I don't think I can drive to the show because I was so wired. I think I came straight from work, as always, because I'm an idiot and I work too much. But like, I came straight from work. I remember just being, like you said, just so highly emotionally charged. And I was driving back in the car on the way back, and I remember being dead quiet and him being like, "You all right?" And I remember going over the match in my head and thinking, "God, like, I'm all right. Like, I can't, like, I've got some." I remember you texted me saying, you'd be mad to give it up. You know, you've got so much more to give. And then we look like, whatever it is, 4 years on, I've had that amazing run in ICW, amazing runs in other places, that training school now that I've opened up and things, obviously is all because of you.
Finally. It only took,
is that all right? You know what I mean? After
14 years.
Imagine not having that match, though. Imagine we didn't have that match and how different things could be, you know?
Yeah. It's and that's like what we were talking about. That's why it's so important to really just always check in with yourself and be present in what's happening in your career and understand that it is a journey that we're lucky to be able to do. Like, we're lucky to be able to do something that we love in any capacity. It doesn't matter, what level or this or that. Like, we are doing something that we love to do and that we always want to get better. And to be able to do that alongside somebody that you consider a best friend is just a bonus. Especially when I get to kick you in the face so often.
Yeah, exactly. I get to like sweat on you. That was class.
Yeah, that was good fun, man. We'll need to do the other match that we had recently.
Yeah, aye, because obviously I'm moving much faster than you there, and
Yeah.
getting kicked a lot less. So we'll probably go for that. I didn't win it though.
Yeah.
Obviously, since you've come back, you've got less of a giving attitude when it comes to your match.
Yeah.
But we'll
I've got
let you off for
I've got that Sabu mentality.
that. You don't want me to take your place on 205 Live. This is the thing.
Yeah. Either put me over or pay me double. The
Exactly.
Sabu way. My fee's double to go under.